All right, so for today's lesson, we are going to take a look at slope, which is SOL A.6a, not A.6c, but A.6a. So this is the introduction into slope. A lot of this material is reviewed from Math 8 if you took Math 8 or Math 7-8 last year. But we will definitely need to understand slope, how to calculate slope in order to be able to write equations, and then also when we get into our unit on graphing equations. All right, so the SOL 8.6, the student will A, determine the slope of a line when given an equation of a line, graph of a line, or 2 points on the line. Learning target, I can determine the slope of the line given an equation of a linear function. I can determine the slope of a line given the coordinate of 2 points on the line. I can determine the slope of the line given the graph of a line. I can recognize and describe a line with the slope or rate of change. The rate of change is another word for slope that is positive, negative, zero, or undefined. So again, some of this information is review if you took Math 7-8 last year, or some of it is touched on in 7 as well. Some key vocabulary: you have slope, slope formula, slope of lines, point, rate of change, positive slope, negative slope, zero slope, undefined slope, horizontal line, and vertical lines. All right, so first of all, let's talk about what slope is. Slope is a number that describes the steepness. Just going to zoom in a bit there. And direction of a line. All right, so the equation for slope is we have our rise, which is our y value, over our run, which is our x value. All right, so we calculate slope as the change in y over the change in x. All right, that'll make more sense once we get into working with the table or looking at a graph. It's going to make more sense. All right, so let's look at the first one here. So the first one we're going to look at is finding slope from an equation. This is pretty straightforward. When we look at the equation of the line, the slope is always the m. So the m represents our slope. All right, and the slope is always, or not always, is also known as the rate of change. So you'll also hear that, especially when we get into word problems. All right, so remember, if you remember, we're talking about rates, probably like in 6th grade, 7th grade, unit rates. So think about a box of cereal being $2.36 per box. So each time you buy a box of cereal, you're getting charged that same rate. And it's also the coefficient of x. So remember, coefficient is always the number in front of the variable. So your slope is always that coefficient of x. So looking at these equations here, we can see for number 1, 5 is the coefficient of x, so that represents our slope. 1/5 is the coefficient of x, and negative 1/2 is the coefficient of x. So when you're looking at equations for now, it's very straightforward. As we get a little further into our slope unit, we will see that we will sometimes have to solve for y in order to determine the slope. All right, let's take a look at from a graph. All right. So the first thing we want to look at is the types of slope. All right, so there are 4 types of slope. We always look at graphs from left to right. So looking at this graph here from left to right, my line is increasing. Therefore, I have a positive slope. So when I calculate my slope, it's going to be positive because my line is increasing. For the next one, if you look from left to right, my line is decreasing. So I have a negative slope, which means when I calculate my slope, I'm going to have a negative number. Anytime you see a horizontal line, that is a 0 slope. And from your investigation that you did on slope, you saw that when you calculated the slope, you did not have a rise because we can't rise anywhere, we can run. So that's 0 over a number, which simplifies to 0. And last but not least, we have an undefined slope. So our vertical lines have an undefined slope, meaning that we can rise, but we cannot run. So that is a number divided by 0. And remember, we cannot divide by 0. So it is undefined. So please make sure that you are very careful with those two, because those two are ones that trip students up a lot. All right, so let's go ahead and look at solving, or steps to solve for slope. So the first thing you want to do the first thing that you want to do is pick two lines, or pick two ordered pairs, not lines, excuse me. Pick two ordered pairs that are on the graph. Make a triangle. Count the rise, which is going to be your y. Count the run, which is going to be your x. Write as a fraction, and as always with fractions, simplify. All right, so let's go look at this first example. I'm going to zoom in just a bit to make sure we can see those lines. So when you're picking two ordered pairs, you always want to pick where they perfectly cross in the corner of the box. That tells me exactly what the number is. All right, so I can definitely see that here it perfectly crosses, and I can definitely see here that it perfectly crosses. All right, so remember from your investigation, you want to start at one point and level to the next point. So I had to rise 3. To get to my second point, I had to run 5. So remember, your slope is always your rise over your run. Or in other words, your y over the change in y over the change in x, which in this case is 3 over 5. All right. The same for the next point, or for the next graph, determining the slope. So again, we want to find 2 points that perfectly cross. So taking a look here and taking a look here. All right. So now we're going to do the exact same thing. We can definitely tell the difference here because we're going down. Remember, going down on the y-axis is giving you your negative numbers. So we're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. So we know that our rise is 7. So we're going down. So that's going to be negative. And we can also tell that it's going to be negative because our line is decreasing. And then we go over to the right 2. So that gives us a slope of negative 7 over 2. All right, so remember, it's your rise over your run. All right, taking a look at the third graph here, constant. So again, we can't rise any at all. So we know that our rise here is going to be 0. But if we pick a point, let's say here, and pick a point there, we can run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that gives us 0 over 6, which reduces to 0. All right. So you can divide 0 by a number, but you can't divide a number by 0. All right. With undefined, we're definitely going to see that here. So we can definitely rise. So let's pick this point, pick that point. We're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4. But we can't run any, so our run is 0. Anything divided by 0 is undefined. And if you ever get confused or forget, always use your calculator. That is a tool that is there to help you. All right, so the third one that we're going to look at, let me zoom out just a tad bit. All right, is looking at it from a table. So looking at it from a table is very similar to looking at it from, or is similar to looking at it from two ordered pairs. In this case, you're given a table of ordered pairs, all right? So the only difference is you're just not given 2. You're giving multiple ordered pairs in a table that you can pick whichever ones you'd like. All right, so the first thing that you're going to do is find the constant rate of change in the y values, which is going to be your rise. Find the constant change in x values, which is your run. Write as a fraction, and like before, simplify. All right, so this table is pretty straightforward. Not all tables are going to be straightforward, but this one is pretty straightforward. So let's look at our change in our y values. So we go from 6 to 12 to 18 to 24. All right, so we can definitely see that our y values are increasing, but what are they increasing by? They're increasing by 6. 6 to 12, I'm adding on 6. 12 to 18, I'm adding on 6. 18 to 24, I'm adding on 6. All right, let's look at our x values. All right, we can see that we go from -3 to 0 to 3 to 6. So to get from -3 to 0, I'm adding 3. 0 to 3, I'm adding 3. And 3 to 6, I'm adding 3. So we found that my change in y is 6. My change in x is 3. Reduce my fraction. My slope is 2. All right. So some tables are very straightforward like this, where you can see the change in y, you can see the change in x, and you can put them together. But in some cases, you will get a table where you'll have to pick two ordered pairs, and this is where the slope formula comes from or comes in. All right. So the first step that you want to do is label your first ordered pair x1, y1. Label the next ordered pair x2, y2. All right, so remember, ordered pairs is always xy, xy. 3, you want to plug into the equation. And 4, you want to solve and simplify. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do here is for this equation, I'm going to label this x1, y1, x2, y2. All right. So remember our slope formula from the beginning. Remember, slope is change in y over change in x. So I have y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. All right. So looking at the way that I label them, 9 represents my y2, 3 represents my y1, 5 represents my x2, 2 represents my x1. 9 minus 3 gives me 6. 5 minus 2 gives me 3. Reducing 6 over 3 gives me 2. All right. The same thing for the next example. And also, it really doesn't matter which way you order them. If you want your first ordered pair to be x1, y1, or you want your second one to be x1, y1, it does not matter. So I'll show here. So if I label this x2, y2, x1, y1, same thing applies. So I have 2 minus, be careful here, a -5. Have to keep that 5 negative because remember the formula already has subtraction. And I have 5 minus a -2. So we know that a negative minus a negative, that becomes addition. So negative times a negative, that becomes addition because a negative times a negative is a positive. So that gives us 2 plus 5, which is equal to 7. Same applies here. Negative times a negative is a positive. 5 plus 2 gives us 7. 7 divided by 7 gives us 1. All right. So that was just a quick overview or intro of slope. Again, some of these pieces you have seen before in your previous math classes, but I wanted to do a review because, again, all this material is going to be useful throughout our slope unit. All right, so what's next? It's time to practice. So with this, you have 3 separate worksheets that go over calculating slope from equations and graph, calculating slopes from a table, and calculating slopes from ordered pairs. But before working on that, I want you to summarize what you've learned from today's lesson.